This is the Marvel Legends series, the X-Men Warlock Build-A-Figure Marvel's Sunfire. The figure is part of the first wave, the latest wave, or the first wave of the X-Men Marvel Legends series for 2017. Here's the rest of the assortment. Everybody has a piece to build Warlock except Old Man Logan, Wolverine. Picked up this figure at Kramer Toy Warden, and he comes with the center piece, or the torso piece, body piece of Warlock. Okay, we'll build him when we've done a review of every single figure. And it is a classic looking figure. If you're a big fan of the old X-Men in the 80s and early 90s, you'll probably remember Shiro as, what's his name? I forgot his name, but I don't remember the Shiro. Sunfire, he is the Human Torch of the X-Men. He, well, not exactly. He just has these, yeah, we kind of is the Human Torch of the X-Men, and uses solar power to power up his plasma flame power. And by golly, it is such a mediocre figure. A lot of people will be saying, it's a classic figure, what do you expect? That's how he looked like in the comic books. Yes, and I will say this, it is well done. If they're just trying to go after that comic book look, they definitely nailed it with this figure. The fact of the matter is, I personally think, you know why I'm not so particular about this guy? He's bad guy, he's a good guy, he's a bad guy, he's a good guy, bad guy. It doesn't strike me as anything original to the X-Men. I thought he was a Human Torch copycat. Yeah, he's not exactly a Human Torch, but I mean, same powers. I was a big fan of Havoc. I loved Colossus. I loved Rogue, Wolverine, Cyclops. Very original for me. This guy was just, he was just a shelf filler. I never had the Toy Biz version. I never had the AOA, Age of Apocalypse Sunfire. So this is my first Sunfire figure, and it's okay. It's not horrible. No, definitely not horrible, but it's mediocre at best for me. And I can see why he's been a peg warmer in some countries. A lot of collectors are not picking him up, opting to get Cyclops and Colossus first, then Old Man Logan, and we should just do it this way, and then maybe Shatterstar, or I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, that's as good as it gets, folks. You have to understand, he was designed in the 80s, I think, and that this is kind of he has the symbol. It's very, he's Japanese, obviously, and then the way the costume was designed was the Japanese sun, the rising sun, Japanese rays, and you get all of this Japanese influenced material has that ray, the red rays of the sun. Anyway, if his mold looks strikingly, disturbingly familiar, I think it's this mold. I'm not too sure because the shoulders on this one is much bigger, but it could be just an optical illusion. I think they repurposed the mold, obviously with different forearms, but the feet, articulation, the limbs, there's a new belt piece, obviously. The head sculpts are different, but fists, biceps, shoulders, torso, legs, basically the same as the new 2099 Spider-Man 2099. Here he is with Old Man Logan. Hey, bub. Now, this is a great figure. This is the one you want to pick up, definitely. And it's a good scale. So, the bad guy, good guy, bad guy, good guy member of the X-Men gets his own action figure. And you know what? If I weren't just such a big fan of the X-Men and I need this guy just to complete my set, I'd probably let him go and sell him off to a friend or something like that. But as it is, again, it's a great mold. They nailed it with its accuracy to the comic books, but it's not a figure you want to go and pay too much for. If you can get this one at a discount or on clearance or something like that, then by all means do so. If you can afford, if you're not a big fan of Sunfire, but you love the X-Men, just like me, I'm not a big fan of this guy, you can really just wait for it to go on clearance before you pick him up. Okay, so that's my general view of the figure. Talking about the paint apps, sorry, paint sculpt. This is a recycled, I think these are recycled from, I don't know, they kind of look new. I was going to say the Jean Grey, the one with the green skirt and all that, but anyway, probably is new. Iron Fist, there you go. I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comment section. I'm too lazy to Google it. Head sculpt is fantastic. Wow. Got that Ocean Master vibe going on. But really, really nice. They nailed it with that head sculpt. The paint apps on it, fantastic. Although, if you're looking through several on the pegs, make sure the gold is painted squarely on where it should be painted. And then going to the body, again, the white paint apps that's probably the most notorious paint apps for Hasbro. They did it okay on the belt. Belt seems to be okay. But the white on the red, aside from the occasional chipping and bleeding in there, it's generally acceptable. It's not okay, but it's acceptable. Yeah, just take a gander at that. It's just, oh my goodness. White and Hasbro, they don't mix. The gold paint apps, not too bad. They did okay with it. If you've seen some Iron Man figures, gold and red really don't mix that well with Hasbro. There's gonna be a lot of quality issues, but for this one, they did it okay. Okay, so far that's it. Articulation for the figure. He's got a ball joint neck that's on a hinge, which is great, so you can have him posed that way, looking up. Not too bad. And he has that that new shoulder hinge joint, which we saw with the Spider-Man 2099. He's got a ball hinge shoulder, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. It goes only up to there. First time to notice that. Ball hinge shoulders, a ball hinge wrists that go in and out. He's got that ratcheting ab crunch, and that's probably why you get those. No, those scratches were there when I bought the figure. I distinctly remember that. He's got a ratcheting waist swivel as well, and it pushes up his waist piece, his belt. He's got a ball jointed hip, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, ball hinge ankles. Sorry, swivel calves, ball hinge ankles with the rocker joints, and he's pretty flexible because it's a Spider-Man mold. And one more thing, some bits of the red plastic, like here on his thigh, it's very glossy, but on the shins and the lower leg, they're a little bit unglossy, non-glossy, and they kind of make the figure look very cheap, like a knockoff. But that's okay, you know, forgivable. Overall, again, as I said, mediocre at best. It's not a figure to write home about. But again, it's a very, very welcome addition to your classic X-Men shelf. Shiro, Sunfire is always, you know, he's always been a staple for the X-Men. If you grew up reading the comic books in the 80s and 90s, he's always there. And lately, in Extraordinary X-Men, he was there. He made an appearance, so he comes in and out, but not one of the major X-Men figures you'll need for your shelf. So there you go, folks. It's gonna get a, because I'm a little bit biased, can I say 7? Or is that too mean? As a figure, you know, it's great. Other than the paint apps issues, easily a 9 out of 10. But for me, because of my disposition towards the character, it's just gonna get a 7 for me. I'm sorry. So, just being honest. There you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed this little video review. This has been the Marvel Legends X-Men Marvel's Sunfire from the Warlock Build-A-Figure wave. Thanks for watching.